Going to the dam badam bam ba ya ya badam bam bedam ba ya bam 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 ba bedam ya ram bam bedam ba badam bam bedam ba ya ram ba bedam ya 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 bedam ya 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 bedam ya Bam 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 bam. Bam 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 bam. Ay ay ay. Bam 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 bam. Ay 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 ay. Tov to put energy in that word when you're saying good chodesh, like to really have extra kavanah when you're wishing someone a tov, the word should be, we should be in it. You know, the famous Torah of the Baal Shem Tov. There's a parish of the Baal Shem Tov on the Torah. He didn't write it, but we all know the students really. Rabbi Yaakov Yosef of Polnoi was the first one to take all the Torahs of the Baal Shem Tov, put it together, and that's what we have Baal Shem Tov al Torah. But it's really dikutim from different tzidutim and sfarim, other sfarim of the tzaddikim of the first generation, right? So it's amazing that when you comes to Parshas Noach, it's like it's a whole sefer within the sefer. They actually extracted the teachings of Parshas Noach and made it into another sefer called Amud HaTfilah. You've seen it. Why? Because the Baal Shem Tov goes on and on and on and on when on the teaching of the pasuk Bo ata v'chol beitcha el hateva. When Noach is told, "Come you and your whole family, bo el hateva." Come into the ark. Teva is also the word for word. Teva. Teva, that's what it means. The Baal Shem Tov is saying, many different Torahs, the word that you say comes out of your mouth in tefillah, go into it. Bo ata v'chol beitcha el teva. Go into the word that's coming out of your mouth. Because the Baal Shem Tov says so often, we're saying words, once they're out of us, we have nothing to do with it. But the way a chassid davens is that you say a word and you go into the word. So, over the years, we've had many different examples and exercises of this, of like, take 3 words in davening, and literally say the word, and like, just move forward a little bit into it, into the air that the word was just said, put out into. Different type of davening. So that's what I'm thinking, like, do you remember the brachos we had for each other in Rosh Chodesh Nisan? Does anyone remember anything of Nisan this year? I'm trying to forget a lot of it, but does anyone remember, like, the word, the Hallel of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the blessing each other on Rosh Chodesh Nisan? So when we say Good Chodesh or Chodesh Tov, like, and you wish that to someone, go into it a little bit. Like, put a bit more of ourselves into that bracha, wishing on every person in this room that this month should only be filled with good news for all of us. And it is very special that we, within all the midst of the tragedies we've had here, we've had brisses, we've had bar mitzvahs, baby namings. There was at least 1 or 2 v'shavu banims, meaning people coming back home to Eretz Yisrael. So there's so much good. We should go into that good, and just bo ata v'chol mitcha el hateva. Okay, so Daf Kuf Yud Aleph, middle of Perek Yud Bet. We have a very beautiful shir this morning that's all about one of my favorite stanzas in Lechadodi. Although every stanza, every single every single stanza in Lechadodi is just so. You have Torot Shlemim on it. Shlomo had like 2 or 3 nigunim on each part of Lechadodi, right? So one of the most beautiful ones is Yamin usmol Tifrotzi ve'et Hashem ta'aritzi. I don't know what happens at that moment. Maybe because you're right before you're going to turn around and boy b'shalom and the place is going to start dancing. Be'ezer Hashem. That's right. That's what it's like in every single shul in the world, right? Right. So I'm putting words out into the word. I'm moving into my, I'm putting it out and I'm going in, right? So this word, Yamin usmol Tifrotzi ve'et Hashem ta'aritzi. Yamin usmol Tifrotzi. That means break through, Yamin and small. Break through it, right? Ve'et Hashem ta'aritzi. This is the pshat I'm giving you. And you break through that, you get rid of all the left and right, with whatever that means, all the connotations, especially what it means Kabbalistically with Chesed and Gvura. Today you could say very easy, comes Shabbos, there's no Yamin, there's no Yismol, you get rid of all that, Yamin is small. Left and right, Tifrotzi, you break through that, and what's left at that moment? What was there before that moment? Ve'et Hashem ta'aritzi. Now, modern Hebrew, leha'aritz means to be a fan, to admire. Ma'aritzim, ma'aritzot, fans, right? Ve'et Hashem ta'aritzi. But it also means, it means something else, which Rabbi Yaakov Shecher is going to show us today. So it's just a beautiful piece, just on understanding the kavanah of Yamin usmol Tifrotzi. This whole chapter is taking different pieces that we say Friday night. Like last week, what we did was we learned the perek of Tehillim that we say in before Mincha Erev Shabbos. I love when learning becomes halacha l'maisa, because then I got a call from someone that was learning with us, and he said, "Well, wait a second, what should I do? I'm davening early mincha, so should I say that kapitel Tehillim then? Because basically." That kapitel Tehillim is basically saying, wow, I made it through the week, right? Thank God I made it out alive. But if you're saying that at 12:30 on a Friday and you're already declaring that you made it out alive, who are you kidding? You still got, you still got 4, 5, 6 hours of like. So he was wondering, do I say it twice, So I said, I said, good Shaila, I'm not sure, let's figure it out. And the answer was, you do say it in early.
Put your phone away.
Right, then you put your phone away and no.
And you don't help at home?
And then it says, I'm sorry, we learned. I said hoidu. Interesting. That guy's not here today for shir. I'm just saying that. I'm just putting it out there. Okay. Anu omrim. So you see on the right column. Anu omrim bepiut lechadodi yamin usmol tifrotzi ve'es Hashem ta'aritzi al yad ish ben partzi. He. It's a key. Ish. V'nismecha v'nagila. Yamin usmol Tifrotzi. We could have said, Efshar levar al milchamteinu neged habal davar. We could explain Yamin usmol Tifrotzi based on our war against the Baal davar. That's the other side. The other side, right? Meaning that you call it Yitzhahara, call it the Satan, whatever it is, the side that's whispering words of you're nothing, you're not worth it, it's not worth being from right now. All those voices in our heads. Kine abal davar kosher vegoder es ha'adam b'shnei tzdadim. The Baal davar ties us. He ties a person and basically shackles him from Yamin usmol. So he said Yamin usmol, Tifrotzi, shackle out. He's going to explain what this means. What does it mean that the Sitra Achra comes and shackles us from both sides? Hine kshe'adam yotze lilchom milchama ha'yetzer milchemes ha'yetzer neged Sitra Achra. Tzarich ladas es tachsisei abal davar. Yaakov is saying, when you go and you wage war against the other side, you got to know how the tactics of the other side. Anyone knows, any strategy, anyone in Modi'in today, anyone in military Halavai, we should know this. We should know this so much stronger. Be'ezer Hashem, our beautiful people that are protecting us, is that it's not enough to just make sure you yourself are strong. You got to know. You have to read the enemy. You have to know what's going on over there. You have to understand how they operate, how they work. So that's true in military. How much more is that true regarding our milchemet pnimis with the other side, how it works? So you could call it out and identify it and not get trapped and shackled in it. Again, tzarich ladat et tachsisei habal davar, the tricks, tachsis, right? Ubichlal hem shtei drachim. In general, it works on two fronts, shel yamin v'shel smol, right and left. Va'alehem mitzvah ha'adam, man is commanded, yamin u'smol tifrotzi. Work yourself through it. Blast through it, lifrotz. What does lifai say, lifrotz? Lifrotz, it's pertzut, like to break it, to break through it, break through it, ממש. כי יש שני אופנים שבאמצעותם מפריע היצר את האדם מעבודת השם יתברך. There are two manners through which the Yetzer really interferes and bothers and interrupts and sometimes prevents a person from doing what they want to do most, which is just being an Eved Hashem. Ha'echad hu b'derech ha'smol. So what's left? What does smol represent? Hainu al yedei shemachshilo b'tavos, lusts, desires, bilbulei emuna va'apikorsut. Bilbulei emuna va'apikorsut, words of heresy. Leshon hara v'rechidut, umafriya lo mililmod u'militpalel, which bothers a person from learning and from davening. Umevakesh ligzol et yamav u'shnotav. And what it's really doing is it's robbing us from our days in our life. Where did we see it this week? Which year was it where we were learning, where it says a person, the extent that a person is alive, was it here? What's the extent of a person's life? Oh, no. This is an amazing chavrusa with this guy in Toronto, with a dear friend of mine in Toronto. We're learning a piece in the Bavavi Mishkan Evne where he says the extent of a person's being alive is the amount of awareness you were that you're in the presence of God. That's really the amount when you count your days and you count your life, living in the awareness, in the state of awareness that I'm Shivisi Hashem Lenigdi Tzamid, Da Lifnei Mi Ata Omed, that's how much I'm alive. The small is trying to take away your awareness. It's trying to take away your life, is what he's saying. It's trying to make your days shorter, your days less meaningless. He's saying that's what small represents. If we have time, we'll get into it a little bit later. Why dafka small? Obviously, this has to do with spheres, and with the Kabbalah, we'll see if we can get there. That's small, yeah, and that's what you have to break through. Yamin hu masha bal davar mislavish b'mitzvahs. Oh, classic Reb Nosson. And Reb Shlomo used to say this. Remember, Little Midrash says imagery of the illustrations of Esav were wrong. If any of you remember them, or if you have it at home. I grew up on them. Anyone else grew up on them? Yeah. Little Midrash says, what did Esav look like in there?
Red, crazy,
yeah,
disheveled.
He was hairy. He was definitely a beast. But what is he wearing? Shtreimel and Bekasha.
Groomed.
Esav looked like he should sit at the Rosh HaShulchan. Esav should sit at the head at the dais. Esav sits today the same thing. Esav sits at the dais today. He's in the front. He doesn't look. Evil that looks like evil is not confusing. Evil that looks like holiness is what messes us up in our head. So Reb Nosson really expounds on this a lot. And he says there's a concept that the other side is a mitlabesh b'mitzvot. This voice that's really pounding you and ruining your life, it actually sounds like a very holy voice. The other voice up here doesn't sound so holy. Meaning it's trying to tell you, think about dirty stuff and confuse your mind. This is the real tricky one. We've learned this a few times. It's been a while, but this concept of hislapshus b'mitzvahs. Yamin hu masha bal davar mitlabesh b'mitzvot, כמו שמבואר, מבואר בדברי רבינו הקדוש בראשית על ליקוטי מוהר"ן, this is the beginning of ליקוטי מוהר"ן, שהבעל דבר מהפך עבירה למצווה ומצווה לעבירה. It has this incredible talent, the other side, to take an avera and make it seem like it's a mitzvah, to take a mitzvah and make it seem like it's an avera. I want to tell you a very inappropriate story right now. Just to get your attention. I'm really not, but I am. There's this horrible tale that but this is like what it is that a man realizes it's Erev Yom Kippur and he's realizing I've been pretty holy. I don't know what to do. he comes to he has a sichas chaverim. I really don't know what to do because I'm gonna have the most boring Yom Kippur. I don't really because it's really been a solid year. Like I can't all the al chetz I feel fake. There's nothing. I don't align myself. I don't feel at home with any al chet. The whole thing seems ridiculous to me, and I want to be an emes dika erlich yid. I don't have any anything to do. So his friend said, oh, wow, okay, so listen, just go to a very far away village, find a woman and, do something, and then you can come and feel like you're ready for Yom Kippur. So the story is he goes, does what he does. This woman that, whatever her story was, Nebach, she miskena v'kol zeh, and no one, she was alone, this and that, and then when they're finished, she's about to leave, and she says, oh, you have no idea what kind of mitzvah you just did. You understand? We laugh in our minds that sixth story has actually infiltrated into a lot of different areas in our life that we're unaware of. That it's ki'ilu a mitzvah when really it's an aveira. And sometimes it's an aveira, right? He's saying when it's really a mitzvah, it's both. It's the bilbul of all bilbulim. He's going to explain this in greater detail, and even though this is online, I just told you it's never repeat that story.
Didn't Yaakov and Esav have the same voice? And it was just the way Yaakov spoke was different? Or did I have that wrong?
Well, the pshat of the pasuk is no, because when he says "Akol kol Yaakov," it's that he wasn't confused about the voice.
13.
Right. But they're already older by at that shlach. But really, why does the Tanya choose Dafka Yaakov and Esav to be those representatives of, like, I always, when the Tanya talks about, Holyfield and Tyson in the ring, right, the wrestlers, it's always, right, the mashal is Yaakov and Esav, because really, Esav is the greatest example of taking something that would seem like it's a mitzvah, really in an Aveira. That's what he represents in the world, nachon? That's what he does. When he comes with his shilas to his father, it's exactly what he's doing. Okay. Yamin הוא מה שהבעל דבר מתלבש במצוות, כמו שמובהר שהבעל דבר מהפך עבירה למצווה ומצווה לעבירה, ומרמה אותו במחשבות של צדקוס, ומכניס בו חלישוס דעת של פרומקייט. כגון, this is amazing, כגון בשעה שאדם עומד להתפלל, או יושב ללמוד, the moment a person actually goes to daven, he goes to sit down and it's good to learn, then this Yamin's voice, הוא מופיע אצלו, ומעלה לנגד עיניו את חטאיו ועוונותיו. Did it ever happen to you when you actually went to be in a state of holiness? At that moment, the worst thing you ever did in your life is like right in front of your eyes. The things you thought you forgot about, or the things you thought got deleted, at that moment, when you're trying to actually engage in Kedusha, at that moment, it's like right there in your face. And you're sitting there and you're saying, are you kidding me? But because that visual was so real, it puts this machshava in your mind of saying, who am I kidding? That is really me. That is really me. He's saying that's where right represents. Umochiach lo, fourth line from the bottom, umochiach lo, שהלימוד והתפילה שלך לא שווים למהומה והכל הולך לסטרה אחרא. That voice is telling you, this learning, this davening you're doing right now, first of all, it's worth nothing, and you're actually only arming the other side. The other side is grabbing all of this, and it's going to dark places. כי הרי אתה חוטא ופושע. You're a sinner, you're a criminal. וכזאת ועשית, and you did this and that, next page. ואיך אתה מעיז להתקרב אל הקודש? Who gave you the chutzpah to come in here and think you're part of the chabura? Who are you kidding? You got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, and that list keeps on going. You think you could join the chabura? Who are you? Yamin. That's the voice of Yamin. You're sitting there, you said, I decided this Shabbos I'm going to start to go to Minyan. That's all I did. I just said I'm going to start davening, Aleph, right? Let's say you're already holding, I'm going to start davening with a Minyan, right? And then these voices come out of nowhere. You want to say something?
Thank God there's that other teaching in the Tanya that empowers you.
Louder,
Thank God there's that teaching in the Tanya that the Baal Tanya is teaching you, that if you're davening and you get these type of thoughts, it means that you're probably having a good davening and the other side's trying to beat you down.
That would be connected to the word tifrotzi, right? That's exactly very good. That's tifrotzi. That's breaking. That's breaking through. He's going to explain a little bit differently, but that is absolutely that's armor. You know that, and we need that all the time. Hopefully, we don't need it all the time. I think we do, unfortunately. Second line, umochiach lo, and this voice is so convincing because it sounds so frum. Umochiach lo akol mima'amarei chazal meforashim. This voice is not coming to you just as like a das yachid. This voice is bringing every rishon and achron that ever existed that aids that voice to come and tell you, no, what I'm telling to you is really emes. You do not belong here. This is not your backyard. You do not belong here. Like, I mean, Eli, I still can't stop thinking about what you told me about when you know, you want to share that? Just don't.
I thought you were saying I don't belong there. I did have that thought.
What are you saying about me right now? If I'm the voice of the Sitra Achra? No. You know what I'm talking about. Remember what I was talking about in the Shir a few weeks ago. Tell him.
He brought the Kotzker and said, the famous Kotzker, that about Tshuva stands, so we can Gemara don't stand. So, usually it's given over by Chazal, by Rabbonim as Chizuk, but the Kotzker is a little bit more Charif or sharp. And he says that when the Bat Tshuva stands, the Sadiq and Gemara don't stand because the Bat Tshuva smells. He has a shmek from all his various and etc.
This was a Baal Tshuva Kola, right?
Baal Tshuva Kola.
Right. Okay.
I'm still here.
Fourth line. Ve'od kahena ve'chahena pituyim shonim u'meshonim kvi sheyodea kol inish benafshei. And there's all other different types of seductions that each person knows in their heart. Not seduction to do an avera. A seduction, this seductive voice that sounds so rational and logical that in the name of emes, get out of here. Stop fooling everybody. You don't belong here. You don't remember, imagine you had the filthiest week of your life, but the Or of Shabbos came into your heart by Yedid Nefesh. And you find yourself shuckling. Mizmor Shiru LaHashem Shir Chadash. Tilasa B'Kal Chasid. And you're Shiru LaHashem Kol Haaretz, and you really do feel it, right? And then what ends up happening? While you're shuckling, you get that voice of Thursday. The voice of Thursday is looking at the Yid of Friday night, and he's laughing. And then you have this milchama at that moment. Should I continue shuckling or not? Tifrotzi. Tifrotzi. You hear the Alter Rebbe, you look at the Alter Rebbe smiling and saying, Bidiyuk, right on. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov. Siman Tov, literally. Siman Tov. Dance right now. Mazel Tov, you have a simcha. V'akol kedei lehachlish da'ato. This is all to weaken our da'as. V'ayidei ze le'archikom Hashem Yisbarach, and through this to also distance you from Hashem Yisbarach. K'mo shemavar Rabbeinu Zal, b'Torah Nunchet, it's brought down Likutei Moharan, the 58th teaching, she'amalek machlish es ha'chalushei koach b'Yisrael. That's what Amalek does. Amalek weakens those who are already weak. V'yizanev b'cha kol ha'nechsholim acharecha. They weren't able to grab the person that had Amunat Chazakah. They were able to grab those that are already grappling with something. So the Baal Dover comes, he starts to, insert these like little bubbles of like chalisha sadas, of feeling weak. And then Amalek's like, oh, perfect, perfect bait now. This is like exactly what I'm looking for. And then he grabs you and schleps you in even lower. Umitnakem Hashem Yitbarach על ידי שמראה להם שכל עבודתם אין להם ערך לפי מה שחטאו לפניו יתברך. זה נקרא ימין. He's saying, what's the right represent? Showing you that you're, if you have a scale in front of you and we put your mitzvahs and averas, who are we kidding? We know what side would be higher, and what side would be up, what side would be low. אבל באמס הוא ההפך הגמור. It's the absolute opposite of Yaakov Meir's thing. When you get a patch from the other side, which means that movie you saw with your friends when you were 18 in high school, which was 35 years ago, and a scene comes and pops up again in your head. He says, it looks like it's a makama baldavar. Yesh lo linkom bo aseret monim. Time for vengeance. Time for revenge. 10 times over. How do you revenge that? How do you give nekama? And Am Yisrael should be zocheh to give proper nekama, be part of the nekama, kel nekama Hashem. We should have a part in it in a healthy way. How do you do a nekama towards that enemy? Because that's an enemy. So you smite him 10 times over with revenge. How do you avenge this, right? This moment. You're stealing away from me a moment of dveikus. How dare you? How dare you do this? You're stealing away from me a moment of dveikus, of kedusha, that's alive forever, that can give strength to Am Yisrael. How dare you do this? He says, exactly. That's exactly a simon at that moment. I'm actually taking on more right now. It's not giving Musa right now, Rav Yaakov Meir Shechter. He's giving you, he's the Ramatkal. He's the chief of staff. He's the chief of staff, and he's giving you tactics how to battle. It's not telling us, you can learn this in Seir. He's giving you Musar. You fell so low. Look what happens to you in your davening. You have to work harder on this. He's saying, Fakert, you're a Kadosh Elyon. Despite whatever you were, you showed up. And now he's trying to take you away. What do? Stick it to him where it hurts the most. Do exactly more and more of what he's trying to convince you, this voice, that you're not part of. He's saying that's Yamin Tifrotzi. Umasha bal davar marel adam areze b'tzad yamin. Uleidach gisa, he says, on the other hand, yesh pitui, many cranes small. What are the seductions that are called left? Haino, like he said before, b'pshitus, ha'taivas amaros, ha'kfirus v'apikorsus. The thoughts of heresy, those thoughts of not like, am I a sinner or not, but is anyone even listening? Someone told me something frightening, that I really pray Aleph is a sheker, but if it's not a sheker, I really pray that it never infiltrates into, definitely not here, but anywhere here, and we have to combat this head on. The whole mahalach of certain chaverim, the world of rationalism has led them so much to the place of saying, it mamish sounds like Mordechai Kaplan's Reconstructionist Judaism, where his book is called Judaism as a Civilization, which means that Judaism is important because it's a very, very important culture. It's very dangerous stuff. But the Metzias Havaya, the Metzias of Hashem, in order to give our children a chance to feel rational and logical and for them to be empowered individuals, that whole thing of talking about the reality of God only messes them up, but they have to be proud Jewish people. You think I sound crazy, right? Do you realize this is actually, I'm not talking about non-religious homes right now.
No, this is real.
I'm talking about what's called from homes, right?
No, Rabbanim went off on this. People with smicha.
This is the people that I'm referring to are very learned people. This is called small. This is called left. What he's saying over here. Yamin is this, Hashem exists, you're just so low, right? You got to get out of here. Small is, I don't know, have you looked at all the promises and the prophets, right? All that stuff that we have to, you gotta extinguish. You gotta mamish put out. Bottom of the right column. Hara ve'ovi ve'ageshem ve'azuama shel olam hazeh. The evil, the ovi, that means the thickness, aveh, the thickness of the geshem. That doesn't mean rain, it means materialism. Gashmiut ve'azuhama, the pollution of this world. All the stuff of this world, shekol elu, Heim begeder small. All of this fall under left. Therefore, and tonight I want us all to think of this. Yamin usmol tifrotzi, he says, sheifrotz veishbor hadam et hagdarim va'mechitzot. Break through all those mechitzas, all those fences that the Baal Davar placed for you in your mind. hen shel yamin, hen shel smol, ve'lo yachush mimenu mipituyav ha'avilim. And trust yourself that it's not worth being cautious in the name of being proper, and to completely break through those both sides, and mamash ki'ilu it doesn't exist. This is one way of understanding Yamin usmol tifrotzi. It's 3 words. Yamin we didn't even get to that Hashem ta'aritzim. It's just 3 words in Lechadodi. Kabbalah Shabbos. Yamin usmol tifrotzi. That's it. Yamin, small, Tifrotzi. With Dibuk Chaverim, with the Kedusha of Shabbos, these things are easier. They're much easier. Because you look around the room and you're like, all these cats are in the same bag. We're all in the same. There's no one here that's not going through this at a certain point in davening. Everyone here is going through this to a certain point in davening. It doesn't matter what they look like. Gartel, no gartel. Hat, no hat. Socks, no socks. It doesn't, we're all, this is something that everyone at a certain level is ne'echaz bo. Because this is the Avoda. This is what we're here to do. Like, this is what we're showing up in this world to do. All right, it's already late. We're going to stop here. We're going to continue this Yamin Usma Be'ezer Hashem next week. Good Chodesh.